Hey, it's Flango. This is my post-tournament series. So we're gonna start going through all of the decks in order from first place to last place. I think I'll do all of them actually. Talk about, what each player chose to use. Talk a little bit about how I think their deck could evolve, how it could shape the meta, and um, how to play it. So first, we've got Sturm's deck, and he ran Taurus Dragon as his king. And then for mana, he actually only ran Seance. Um, sure. So Dark Deal, I only have two, but he ran three. Betrayal, he ran three. Possession, I didn't know Nightmare had something called Possession. He only ran one Possession. I can see it. Sledge, two. I think this card should be run in every deck. Queen of Thorns, Psycho Fiend, and then the last one was Shadow Lurker. And because I only own two Dark Deals, um, let's just throw in another Sledge. Whatever. It's not the same at all, but whatever. Okay, so let's sort by cost here. Already, you can see like the idea of the deck is pretty obvious. You're gonna get Shadow Lurkers. These guys have 17 attack, 41 health. They're big boys. Only 33 mana too. It's a pretty big steal. But obviously you don't care about mana because you are playing a card called Dark Deal, which lets you summon summon your Shadow Lurker, and then summon a Shadow Lurker for your enemy. Um, and then you steal it with Betrayal. It's pretty simple. And then if they can't be stolen for whatever reason, then you use um, Possession, and then you'll have things to Betrayal. Only running one Possession is good. I don't think he should run more. I like that a lot. Now, um, this is from your deck, so if you draw your Shadow Lurkers, Psycho Fiend is there. To be honest, I don't like this. I understand that you can just Betrayal the second one and then you get two, but I think Psycho Fiend is just better in a Taurus Dragon deck, and I really like having Force in general. I think it's super useful to be able to have multiple Psycho Fiends. So I would probably have like less Shadow Lurkers and more Psycho Fiends. Two is fine, but like this just feels better to me. You can get two. If I am able to Betrayal a Psycho Fiend, that almost feels better than betrayaling a Shadow Lurker. Especially like you've got a guy behind enemy lines who does 12. He could be hitting multiple people. So yeah, that. Um, since you've got this, Betrayal is if you have more demons, including your king. So I don't see why he's running Queen of Thorns. I I can see that like maybe you lose one, but I talked about this in the live cast. I feel like it's preferable to run Icarus. You get 9 damage that way, 14 health. He usually doesn't die in one turn. Like very few cards actually can do that to him. If you're really worried about that, don't be. But I guess like you can also play Soul Stealer, which can give you mana. I'm still like Seance is pretty good, I guess. Yeah, after a Dark Deal, Seance is good. You could also run Master Primal, but Icarus is just better. Hang on, let me. Okay. Um, yeah, that's sort of my idea here. I feel like I guess Queen of Thorns because it combos with Seance. But I feel like in a lot of situations, Icarus still keeps you high enough for a Dark Deal. Unless you're in like the Dark Deal matchup, which I think that the deck that Sturm brought is better against other demon decks if you run Queen of Thorns. And that's probably why he ran Queen of Thorns, is because he was expecting other demon decks. Or because, well, no, that. And so, yeah, I think that if you're gonna like expect a lot of people to net deck this deck, then you would keep Seance and Queen of Thorns in, because otherwise you'd fall behind. Um, that said, I think you might also keep 2 Psycho Fiend, 1 Shadow Lurker. Because Shadow Lurker's like essentially single. Psycho Fiend can move them away and stuff. Psycho Fiend can make things work. It's good in this matchup. But then there's also like arguments to be made to play, like if you're going to counter this deck and play a similar deck, you can run like Devil's Shadow, which will make you have more demons in the later game. You could also get rid of the Sledges and play like Mass Serpent as well. Get rid of the Seances. Basically play it manaless. That wouldn't even be that bad. You'd have to keep possession, obviously. Um, I think you'd run like Icarus or Devil's Shadow probably. Yeah, like this. And then obviously you have 3 Dark Deals. And that's pretty good. Like you can't afford all of these, I guess. So well, but it's nice to have some redundancy. There would be times where you just draw up too many of these though, and then you can't play them. So that would suck. But you'd always have like a possession Dark Deal type thing. And if you're really concerned about the mirror, then you could actually remove possession. And I don't know, maybe add Seance back in. Seance is still good because people would be spamming the board with Dark Deal. But then maybe also at that point, there's a more expensive demon that you would want. Nah, not really. Inferno's cool though. Anyways, that's sort of the idea of this deck. I don't have too much more to say about it. It's just a well-made deck. These will be shorter videos, I think. I will say that I'm not going to be playing this deck. I'm not even going to be saving this deck. I don't like it. And I said this before, it's just not my kind of deck. I think it has really good tempo. I think its top end isn't really high. It's kind of an aggro deck. Its top end is Taurus Dragon, I guess. And then like, if you have Psycho Fiend and Taurus Dragon in the same board, then you do a lot. Or if you can Sludge and they happen to be on the same grid. But yeah, overall, I feel like this deck is decent. But once the Shadow Lurkers are gone, then they're gone, right? And that can be up to 6 Shadow Lurkers, so it's really not like it's a deep deck. It's just you could go deeper, right? And so that's what I would do. I would try to play a control deck that's just a little bit deeper than this deck. 41 is interesting because if we look at attack here, it actually survives 2 Shenlong hits. Oh, they buffed Zera. It survives 2 Zera hits now, 2 Shock Leviathan hits, 2 Nightmare hits, 2 Aqua Hydra hits. The first card that can kill it in 2 hits is Northern Giant. And Desirous Guardian is good for killing it too. Honestly, a Desirous Guardian control might do well against this. Problem is it's kind of slow because of mana. But you can run Seance in Desirous Guardian control against these guys, and then just Seance hit Seance. You've got good health. You can control like Queen of Thorns and stuff. I don't know. That'd be interesting. There's not a lot to like control and get rid of. Oh wait, yeah, there is, right? Oh no, because control is only 20 mana. But yeah, that would be an interesting deck to play against it. But yeah, I mean, I would be using my Red Reapers eventually. Early game, you'd kind of be running. I mean, I would be using Zero, right? Definitely an interesting um, deck to try to beat, though. So yeah, I guess where do I think this will fit into the metagame? I think it'll be one of the decks to beat. It's quite strong. It's like aggro, but it goes late, so I guess you could call it mid-range, to be honest. It's not super fast. Um, I think that, yeah, it will always be one of those, well, until it gets nerfed, if it gets nerfed, it will always be fun to play against. There's also that diamond with force that doesn't move. That guy could definitely do something against this deck. He two-shots all the shadow lurkers. So yeah, that's sort of my take. Is it's gonna be a hard deck to beat, but it's not impossible. And I think it's honestly fairly healthy for the game. And like there's some cool optimizations and techs you can make, so it's not like a forced make itself kind of deck. I think you can run Icarus if you're not going to be expecting the duo or whatever it's called, the mirror. I think there's a lot you can do. It doesn't have any territory um, terrain stuff, so you can punish that. Aqua might honestly do fine against it. But yeah, that's sort of my thoughts on that deck. Thanks for watching.